Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ok Xoomer. I'm your host, Aaron Lichtig, Xometry guy and former Jeopardy champion, and I'm here today with Simon Arthur, the founder of Big Blue Saw, which is now a Xometry company. We're really excited to have Simon and his team joining our team here at Xometry. So welcome, Simon. It's great to have you.
Good to be here, Aaron. Good to talk to you.
Well, great. So we're excited to chat about Big Blue Saw and everything that you have built and done there. Can you tell us about how you started Big Blue Saw and why you decided to get into this business?
Well, back in 2005, I had been building fighting robots for a number of years for competitions like BattleBots and Robot Battles here in Atlanta, Georgia. And one problem that I was having, and that I knew a lot of other robot fighting competitors were having, was that we were having a lot of trouble getting custom parts made. I had gone to a number of machine shops and fabrication shops, and usually the response I would get was, we'll call you back, or it was just flat out, we don't want to do business with you because you're ordering maybe 2 or 3 pieces, and we really want those jobs that are 1,000 pieces and up. So go away, handle this on your own. So I thought about this a bit, and I had found a couple places that were willing to work with me to do some small runs for robots, and they were working with other robot competitors as well. And I thought to myself, well, why don't I use some of my skills and background in software engineering and in website development, use that to build a website that makes it as easy as possible to order custom parts. And I figured if I was having this kind of problem, if other robot builders were having this kind of problem, there must be other people in other fields of endeavor that were also needed the custom parts. So I built Big Blue Saw. I launched it in very late 2005. Just around the time my son was born. It grew and grew for many years, and now we're part of the Xometry family of companies.
Excellent. So yeah, Big Blue Saw's capabilities are pretty tremendous. Now, I know you're really strong in laser cutting, water jet cutting. What do you think are really the things that differentiate Big Blue Saw in terms of the kind of parts that you can make?
Well, we're definitely focused on those 2D machining technologies, water jet cutting and laser cutting. So we try to be the best that we can possibly be and have the most knowledge internally about those processes. And we try to make it so that we run our machines as close as possible to the customer's specifications. And then when you're ordering or you're contacting our customer service people, we want to make sure that you know exactly what you're going to be getting after you order.
Excellent. And a lot of the technology behind Big Blue Saw in terms of how they quote parts is now becoming a part of Xometry's instant quoting engine for laser jet or laser cutting and water jet cutting as well. So that's one of the key things we're going to continue to learn from each other and grow together. Now,
Sure.
you also mentioned BattleBots as a key reason why you started this, and the
Right.
BattleBots season has just kicked off. We're a few episodes in. The 2 cars that, or I mean, bots, not cars, bots that Xometry sponsors, both won last night, Hypershock and Riptide, so that we're off to a good start with the Xometry bots. Can you talk a bit about your own experience with BattleBots and those types of competitions, as well as some of the bots that Big Blue Saw has sponsored and made parts for this year and in the past?
Yeah, sure. So I got into this robot fighting. My first competition was in 1997. And that was at Dragon Con. There's Dragon Con robot battles every year at Dragon Con. Dragon Con is now Labor Day every year.
What is Dragon Con?
So Dragon Con, I'm not sure if it's the largest science fiction convention. It's the largest that's in one spot every year.
Okay.
And that's tied to a particular location. So it's you know, and it's grown a lot. It used to be part of one hotel back when I started was Dragon Con, and it grew and grew, and now it's multiple blocks. Like all of the downtown hotels are now part of Dragon Con.
Nice.
So Robot Battles is there, and the first year I was there was 1996, and I saw something amazing there. I saw this robot fighting at Robot Battles, but also a gentleman was there. The gentleman by the name of Mark Thorpe had come out from the West Coast, and he brought these videos of a competition he was doing out in San Francisco called Robot Wars, which was a similar sort of idea, but on a much, much bigger scale. So these were, 200-pound robots going at it in something the size of a hockey rink. Whereas at Dragon Con, we just had a couple stage risers pushed together, and I thought, this is amazing. I've got to get into this. I've got to be able to do this. I don't have a mechanical engineering background. I'm not a trained mechanical designer or builder or anything like that, but I loved what I saw. So the next year I built a robot and started competing, and I've been competing ever since.
And you were on some of the early episodes of the BattleBots TV show, right?
Well, I showed up for the original season, season 3, 4, and 5, or is it 4, 5, and 6? Somewhere in there. Yeah. So somewhere in the early 2000s, back in the Comedy Central days, I showed up. I never made the TV rounds.
No.
So back then it was an open competition. So you would have hundreds of people showing up from all over the country, and they had multiple weight classes and things like that, which made it easier to get in the door of BattleBots back in those days. So that's what I did. I showed up the first year. I had a 3-person team. I had a super heavyweight robot, Neptune, and then the next 2 years I showed up with a lightweight and just myself. That made it a lot easier to deal with logistically, just to pack the robot and go off to San Francisco. And then a few years ago, I was part of the Bombshell team. We got all the way to the final round. So yeah, I've been competed a number of times at BattleBots.
Awesome. And Big Blue Saw is also a sponsor of a number of teams this year. Who are some of the teams that you're working with?
Right. So this year we are sponsoring, in no particular order, Gigabyte, Minotaur, Whiplash, and Overhaul. So we've got 4 bots out there right now that we're rooting for. So we started the sponsorship before we knew there was going to be a merger with Xometry. So now you'll see both Big Blue Saw sponsored teams and Xometry sponsored teams out in the field.
Yeah, we're really excited about BattleBots this year overall for Xometry and Big Blue Saw, because we have sponsorships of 6 of them, and you may have also seen our TV advertising on some of the early episodes as well. So it's a really exciting thing for us as a company. Please watch and support all 6 of those bots this year.
Yep.
So Simon, what excites you most about being a part of the Xometry family, and what the future looks like for Big Blue Saw?
Well, as Big Blue Saw, we were a little bit smaller organization, right? So we didn't quite have the resources, the connections, all these great network of partners. We didn't quite have that as Big Blue Saw. That's kind of what I was trying to build towards, but Xometry has done that in a fantastic way. So right now we're, I'm still head of Big Blue Saw, president of Big Blue Saw, but I'm also the director of flat cut parts for Xometry. So I'm dealing with making the flat cutting part experience, the water jet cutting, the laser cutting, and not to get too far ahead of myself, but other processes that are similar in the future that we are hoping to offer. we're going to make those as good as we can possibly get them on Xometry. And, I've had so many ideas over the years of how we can make this the stellar, the most first class kind of experience for our customers, and it hasn't quite been possible for me to do it without the resources of a company like Xometry. So I'm really excited about what we can do for customers who need those flat cut parts. That'll get you your parts as inexpensively as possible. We're going to make it as easy as possible to order, and we're going to get those to you fast as we can get them, which is pretty quick.
If you do happen to have parts that you need cut, flat parts for all types of sheet cutting, you can check out the Big Blue Saw site and their instant quoting engine there, as well as Xometry site, which also now has sheet cutting as a separate offering within the instant quoting engine. So as a team, Xometry's got some great offerings there.
Well, yeah, and keep in mind, this, for a lot of people who don't quite realize it, this can be a substitute for 3D printing, for CNC machining. If you don't quite need the capabilities or expense of those processes, the flat sheet cutting or even plate cutting, we can cut thicker metals. A lot of times this makes a much better substitute for a prototype, a small parts run, or even a large parts run where you don't want to have that extra cost associated with those other processes.
For sure. Well, thank you, Simon. It's been great having you on OK Xoomer, and even better to have you as part of the Xometry family.
Great. Thanks talking to you, Aaron.
All right.
I should say, good talking to you, Aaron.
Well, thank you, Simon. And thanks for listening and watching, everybody. This has been another episode of OK Xoomer. We'll be back with another one in another couple of days. Please stay safe and healthy out there, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.